Okairin to the Subtitled Podcast. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and today is an episode I've been so excited for. I've been waiting, and if you follow my Twitter account, you know that there are two things I've probably wanted to talk about for a long time. One of them is Fire Emblem and Edelgard, which I did last week with Under the Scope. And then the next thing, well, I guess Oregariu, but that's maybe stay tuned for next week because there might be something on that. But if you know me, every week it was Taichi Tuesday. It was important to talk about Madhouse's Chihayafuru, and I have an esteemed panel of guests today. First of which, friend of the show, been on before, Daniel Sans Lions.
Hey everybody, Daniel Sans Lions. You can find me on Twitter at Daniel Sans Lions. I also have a blog, Trickster's Treatise. You can find the link to that on my Twitter page. It's great to be here again.
There's lots of cool stuff, and also this. Listen, I've referenced the term whale before in terms of Pat Riley, general manager of the Miami Heat, talking about which great free agent he's gonna get. Calls them the whale. My whale, my guest, my golden guest is here today.
We go.
Under the Scope, you are replaced with the OG AniTube legend, Glass Reflections Arkada.
Am I actually OG in a lot of people's thoughts? It's weird because I have been around long enough, but like I don't consider myself OG because I know that there are a lot of people that have been doing this longer than I have.
You are Mount Rushmore of the Western anime community.
Okay. I will take your word for that.
You are 100% Mount Rushmore. I don't know who. I actually thought about this because when you agreed to come on, I got really excited. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. And I was wondering, who would I put on the Mount Rushmore? But I just knew that you for sure were there.
Okay.
That's all
I appreciate that a lot.
Listen, man, we're here, we're talking, and we're ready to talk about Chihayafuru.
Yes.
Let's go.
So, Daniel, you've read the manga.
Yeah, up to chapter 192, I think is where I'm at.
So you were pretty familiar with the source material, and you got to see it adapted every week. And Tristan, I don't think you've read it, right?
No, I never read the manga. No.
Yeah, I don't read it
because then I would be tempted to read beyond what the anime has done, and I really like watching the anime.
It was so hard to put down the manga once that season 3 announcement came out. Oh goodness! But I'm the type where I'd rather see the anime, and if the anime is gonna continue on from here, I'd like to be surprised with everybody else. So tough calls.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the production was as good, like in terms of directing, that I think Madhouse has done, and
and it's the same director from the previous 2 seasons as well, unless I'm absolutely mistaken with that.
No, it is. And I mean, from the sound design, I know Arkada, you did a video about it recently. And you even talked about how good the sound is and how they kind of reuse little riffs. I thought the OST this season was probably the most underratedly great part of it.
Yes.
Like, the new tracks were incredible when they would bring in the old things. It was like, just from top to bottom. I really like sports anime, and I can't think of an anime that peaks like Chihayafuru did this season. Maybe Haikyuu. I know, Arkada, you're a big Initial D guy. Like, in terms of sports anime, I think that this is about as good an arc as there is.
Probably, but like it's not done yet.
It's not. I guess this season. I guess season 3. Like,
in season 3, yes, season 3 had a great arc, and I enjoyed it.
Arcs. I mean, just arcs. Like I guess I'm talking about like seasonally. Like, as terms of a season of sports anime, I think that's as good as I've seen. Like, it. Just from a direction standpoint, the colors, I was tweeting every week about the use of color. Some episodes would use darker colors or purples or dark blues, and other ones were really bright, or some
Morio Osaka, the god.
And I guess you who've read it and you got to see it in black and white, how did you feel like getting to see the kind of color brought to it? Because it's really stark.
It was something else. I was really happy, You see a lot of that stuff on Twitter where manga readers will get all uppity and upset because they didn't translate the panel one-to-one. They were really efficient and effective in their use of the manga panels. A lot of the storyboards were lifted straight from the panels. I remember I posted a comparison of like the big moment, episode 23.
The I'm Not Made of Stone?
Yeah. Well, not a little before that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do. Yes.
Oh, that's the.
But listen,
are we good with spoilers? Are we good with spoilers?
Yeah, no. If you're listening to a Chihayafuru season 3 podcast and you haven't seen the anime yet, I mean,
something's wrong. Yeah.
Go do that.
Okay,
go do a U-turn and go put that in, and you have all of quarantine to do it. And so yeah, no, this is a spoiler-free zone. A spoiler zone, rather.
Oh yeah. So the confession scene. So anyway, but the colors, God, just absolutely masterful. You know, a lot of my friends keep harping on me like, okay, you got to get to Mori Osaka's other works. You got to get to Cardcaptor Sakura. You got to get to Nana, and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh God, yeah.
And, yeah.
Sheesh. I keep forgetting Nana's a thing. I need to do a video on Nana.
You really do need to do it. Didn't you just do one?
On Nana? No.
I'm thinking of somebody else. Never mind. I was like, yeah, I mean, the catalog is Chihayafuru, Nana.
Yeah, so again, going back to this idea of how Chihayafuru is so good at carrying these motifs, you know, the colors with Taichi, always those autumn colors. In the manga, you know, you get the sense from like the shape of the leaves and whatnot. You know, Chihaya is always sakura petals and whatnot, but just the color bringing the vibrancy to life. It was absolutely everything I was hoping for, and it was fantastic. I couldn't have asked for something better. I feel like I've used up my wishes for anime lately. All the sequels coming out, and yet I'm still greedy.
Where were we? 7 years between season 2 and when did season 2 drop? Was it 2013?
Yeah, 2013 for season 2. So we got that. We're getting the new season of Snafu.
Yes.
Coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Let me tell you something, man. This is not a
yeah, like pod, this is the time for sequels to come out of the freaking woodwork.
Yeah, and even like finished manga, like I'm a big fan of seeing Yesterday for Me. I was unprepared for that announcement, and that's coming out tomorrow, I think. That's airing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. I have a document with like when dates things come out. There's too many to keep track of.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Spring season has a lot of Kaguya-sama. Although that's not like we haven't waited for that for a long time.
We haven't waited forever for that. No. But the Fruits Basket series is continuing, and technically when that one first started, like at the end of last year, I was like, holy shit, you're doing what now? So that was cool.
How far have we come? Was it Madhouse memed for never making sequels?
At one point, yeah.
Like, what happened? Like, I'm not complaining here, but quite the character.
Yeah, no, at one point they never made sequels, and now they have a few. Some would argue that they don't have the right sequels, but yeah.
I get so disappointed when I look at Madhouse's Twitter and they post anything Chihayafuru, and they'll just be like, we want, what are they always asking for?
Like No Game, No Life? Or
yeah, bullshit like that, you know. Attack on Titan, all that, you know.
Yeah.
So something I really want to talk about, and probably for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, really the emotional core of this season was Taichi. It was
Absolutely.
bookended by Taichi in the beginning and Taichi at the end, and then in the middle we get the Masters battle. But I kind of want to talk to you guys about his characterization, because to me, he's always been this, not just a very angsty, self-loathing person, but one incredibly self-aware of his shortcomings. Like, he'll do something in the beginning of the season. He has a confrontation with, not a confrontation, but like he talks to Arata, and he's kind of a little mean to him, and he's walking away. And he's like, why am I like this? Why do I do this? And it's like, that's all he could know. And by the end, he finally channels all his angst and confesses in what I think he knows to be a futile confession.
Yeah, which is why he led with, yeah, you remember that thing? Yeah, that was me. I screwed up.
That was so weird. Like, why do you you're about to tell someone you love them, and you're like, remember that really shitty thing that happened a long time ago? Yeah, that was my fault.
Well, I mean, that just goes back to his character, because he's so hung up on things. He doesn't know how to kind of let go and be honest for once. And that same conversation with Arata, wasn't that also the same one, like after the Yoshino tournament, where they both admit to each other, oh, I think I've always thought of Chihaya as belonging to you. And then Arata fires back with that. But, you know, really, she doesn't belong to anyone.
I love
and Taichi's
that line
just
so much.
shook. Taichi's so shook.
I love that line. And I think I was kind of getting angry at the conversation. I was like, I mean, she doesn't really belong to anybody. Like, she's as good a player as both of you, and she's just like, women do not belong to you. And Arata files back with that. And I guess because Taichi's always I guess, taken proprietary, like he's taken ownership of taking care of her. Because I think Taichi, in a way, I think Taichi looks down on her, that she can't take care of herself, that she is this aloof person that he loves and that he needs to look out for, and that she can't do it herself.
Maybe before the show started, yeah, but like there have been plenty of times over the course of the show where she's come out of nowhere and helped him. What was the one time? I think I can't. The tissue scene. I don't remember. That was like season 1 still. Shoot, I can't remember.
I think that was season 2 in their second year tournament.
Yeah, because they were in the room and they were all in their garb, but everything was like super warm.
Even the moms threw the towels at him. That was just a great detail. I love that.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
And you know what's funny, that scene probably doesn't even make top 5 of this season. This season had so many that a great scene like that probably doesn't medal.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But I felt the show was at its best when they really explored his headspace, where they explored his relationship, especially with Arata, because I think that the Chihaya stuff is pretty well documented, but the relationship that him and Arata have and how he's in his mind almost as much as she is.
I would almost argue as well that the show hasn't spent a lot of time with Arata. Like even throughout all 3 seasons, he's like out of all the main characters, he's the one that's like barely been touched.
So I could kind of talk on this as a manga reader, in
the manga.
Yeah. No. So I know, right? So you kind of have to think about, all right, with these 3 main characters, why is the protagonist Chihaya? Why is Taichi the deuter antagonist? And then why is Arata almost like a foil? And you have to. It all kind of goes back to like the way I read this show. That moment in season 2 where Kana is explaining the difference between Chihayafuru and Araburu to Chihaya, uses that spinning top metaphor where the difference between like passion and kind of a lack of control and then focus and mental intensity, all the players are like their success is bound on their ability to achieve that like mental state, that presence of mind, being in the zone, et cetera. But Arata is able to do that as soon as he snaps out of his grief from his grandfather. Whereas Chihaya, that's just her character. She's just someone who's so within the moment. She can't strategize. She can't think ahead. Any sort of twist in the game, especially in the early seasons, she just gets completely thrown. And then so much of her progression over season 2 and season 3, and more towards the beginning of season 3, has kind of solidified that she's become a rock solid person mentally. Like little things in the game, she can rebound a lot quicker. She becomes more resilient. Whereas Taichi, here's the thing, with Chihaya being such kind of like a simple character, you need somebody to kind of offer that like interiority to give more weight to the show, and Taichi is the vehicle for that. And Taichi is just that lack of control defined. He is so victim to the whims of literally anything that happens to him, and that's why he's also just like a really compelling character.
Well, I think it's like it kind of shows a bit like how he was brought up. So like that whole scene being like, hey, here's all of his trophies. He is a character that is just used to things happening. So when things don't go the way that he's expecting, he's like, wait, what?
Yeah, he's very entitled. Absolutely. That's why he's possessive of Chihaya.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of bring it back to your point about the metaphor that Kana used. I really like how Chihayafuru kind of always goes back to its cards and its poems to frame not just characters but arcs, and how in the last episode of season 3, the teacher, when she's talking to the teacher and Chihaya realizes that she is the rock and the waves are Taichi's feelings and she just broke them down, and it all kind of dawned on her, and kind of a beautiful moment of her relationship to Karuta, because Taichi in a way plays Karuta because of Chihaya. Maybe it's not that way at this point, but it certainly was for a long time, and Arata uses it to get out of grief, but Chihaya has a genuine love for these cards, for the poems, and I really, really love when that show does that.
Yeah.
Especially the episode titles.
Yeah, the episode titles are incredible.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what anime does I mean, the only ones that I can really think of that do episode titles that hit me that powerfully are
Origairu,
Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden was really good at that. And Penguin Drum, I think, were the only shows that the titles got me, like Chihayafuru did. What happens when they run out of poems? What happens when they pass 100 episodes?
Well, so they've actually, been repeating some of the poems because, the poems have multiple verses.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do the one verse and then the other verse. So technically they have 200
Okay, we got
200 titles worth.
Well, it's kind of interesting because the way the show translates the poems, these are tanka. The pattern is like 5, 7, so, it's like 5 lines, but they turn them all into couplets in the show, which I think is like really interesting just because I was an English major and I'm a loser, but
we welcome losers. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about Arata and like kind of how he's put in the back, and then I really liked how this season kind of explored his headspace genuinely. I think in prior seasons we didn't really get too much, and I think the one that really, really hit me, the moment for him that's going to stand out to me, is when he's watching Chihaya and Taichi play the final, and he's like, why am I not there? And probably my favorite storyboard of the whole season is when he's kind of put in the room when they were kids, and then you have Taichi and Chihaya playing, and he's sitting on the little windowsill, and he's watching them, and he's dark, and then the little orbs of light. I mean, that...
Great stuff. So, just to complete my thought earlier, so this next leg of, the story, so what season 4 would probably entail is, now that this big shakeup has happened, Taichi's left the team, Chihaya has to rally because, High School Cards is about to start. They have a title to defend.
Mm-hmm.
But over here we have Arata trying to make his own team. So the story makes this kind of interesting sort of like it's been really Chihaya and Taichi centric. Now we get a little protagonism out of Arata too, and it's
finally
like little 3-way split is really nice.
It's also interesting just like how the pacing of the show has gone, because season 1 was their first year in its entirety, and then when season 2 came in, it's like, oh, we got new people, but like then we go through 2 whole seasons that cover that next year, and yet we still barely get any time with Arata.
I've actually I'm excited for the new club members, but I like what they did with the ones from, I mean, I guess what's the guy's name that has the eyes closed?
Oh,
Tsukuba.
Yeah, him. I don't really care for him, but
yeah, a lot of people. Yeah,
Sumire, man.
I
was
was
the weakest
hopeful,
member.
I was hopeful that he was going to get some growth in the same way that the other ones did. So like the first time he tried to pull that bullshit of being like, yeah, I'm just going to fudge the names and change it. And when he got caught, I'm like, okay, this is his teachable moment. This is his time to learn and be fine. A couple episodes later, he does the same shit again, and I'm just like, no, okay, I'm done. I'm done with you. You didn't learn, obviously, so you're gonna actively screw everyone for yourself.
And you kind of expect that out of Chihayafuru because the pattern so far is like introduce some terrible, weird, awful person, and then they kind of chip away in the development.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, finally I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But so I will say Scuba does kind of step up a little bit in kind of the next part because the greatest I don't want to give away too much.
Don't give away,
yeah, okay. So
he steps up. Okay, good.
Good to know.
Sumire stepped up this season, especially toward the
Sumire
end.
is great.
Oh,
and she's gonna keep doing great. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't even know what scene I got more emotional than the one where she tells Taichi to tell the one he loves, like that he loves her, or when they go into the club room at the end of the season and she's explaining
and
the
she's
game.
there and she's the one taking charge and being like, all right, well, everybody else is like graduating, so I might as well be doing this.
Come to me, Kohai.
And
I'm
like
here.
Only 2 months ago, she probably would have been like, "No, screw all this."
The moment that she had with Taichi's mom too, where she's like, being very chuny, shonen, don't come in, her hands open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The show.
She had a lot of good moments.
Arkada, you talked a little bit about your video and how the show kind of uses multiple characters' arcs to advance each other's. I know you mentioned Taichi is one of them. Yeah, and that's Sumire is a really good example of that too.
Mm-hmm. Where she can be like, yeah, hey, this is my arc, but it's also technically part of Taichi's arc. I don't know if that's like a thing where if like the show just likes developing Taichi through everyone else, but yeah,
he's kind of like a vessel for. I feel like I don't know. I don't want to say he's like. He almost feels like the protagonist at times. Like the show is about him overcoming these insecurities, these anxieties, these kind of even self-affirmed weaknesses that he has.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, the scene that the two scenes that I really like are and I don't want this just to be describing scenes I like, but the one in the
No, it could totally be like.
I mean, Chihayafuru, this season has so many. The one where he doesn't get the Swift's God card in the tournament, and then at the very and then we kind of go back to the to the confession episode where he doesn't hear Chihaya and he talks about how shit his game sense is.
Mm-hmm.
I've always put those two scenes together, even though they're not really that related, because it's like I could not get the card of hers that I could not defend that card on my side, and then it was kind of like his shit game sense, and it's like how his Karuta is almost a metaphor for his love life and his feelings, and kind of how much of a disaster he is at both at times.
Mm-hmm.
And then Arata,
and how he's not good at it, but he seems to be good at everything else. But Karuta is the one thing he's absolute dog shit at by comparison.
I mean, he's good. He's a class A player.
Is he good though? He spent how long in Class B?
Hey, now.
I think he's Daniel. Do you think he's? I think he's a very good Karuta player.
He's a very great Karuta player.
And he's probably a really great boyfriend, but
hey, he's got a lot of way to go on his game still. There's some great developments to his game.
So Arkada, I have a theory, and
what is your theory?
I don't want Daniel to confirm or deny, but I developed this theory when he played Suo for the first time, Master Suo, and he doesn't commit one error, and as he's walking home that day, he starts thinking about how interested he is in that really horrible Karuta style. And I have this thing that I think Taichi's gonna go into the dark arts and learn how to do this. And I'm very excited
considering
for that.
where he is, and he's right there with the master at the end of the season.
Listen, I'm here for dark arts Taichi. I really want I want maximum angst. I love angst in anime. Angst is my favorite genre. If you tell me that this show has angst, I'm lining up for it. And I'm here for angsty ass Taichi arcs.
I love my bad boys Suo and Taichi. I love them so much.
That's what I want. Is he your favorite character, Arkada?
Taichi?
Yeah.
I like him more than Arata.
Yeah, okay, we think
that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. He's not my favorite character in the whole show, though. That would be Kanade. Kanade is my favorite character in the whole show.
She's great.
Listen, I love this answer. Thank you for saying. I'm smiling. Thank you for saying that.
Good.
She's so good.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk enough about how good she is. The moment that she has in season 3 at the end when she kind of picks up the slack for the club and talks at the student rally, whatever. Great. Mm-hmm. She's excellent. She's incredible. I want to talk about the storyboards because it's about the quality of storyboards in this season of Chihayafuru are about as good as anything. And I have a thing that Naoko Yamada, Ogawa, Taichi Itidate, Haruka Fujita, notable KyoAni directors, and I googled his name today. Who the hell directed Bake Monogatari? Also did Penguin Drum, some episodes of Penguin Drum.
Oh
wait,
I tweeted.
Are you talking about who?
Akiyuki
Chief
Shimbo?
Yes. No.
Shimbo Chief directed it, but he didn't. It's.
Hold on.
He takes a lot of credit for the Monogatari series, but he wasn't the actual director of the show. He was just chief director, which I know sounds like it's the same job, but it's not.
No,
not at Shaft.
I've learned. Yeah. Well, Shaft is a whole other can of worms with everything that they've been going through. Taguchi. And Furukawa. Like, to me, those are like the gods of storyboarding right now. And this season of Chihayafuru was right up there with, right in that level. And for me to include anybody in the same vein as Naoko Yamada is something. Like not even like aside from the use of colors, the framing, I thought they went to kind of the same well a lot of times, but just I love when storyboards really use their environment to kind of convey characters' emotions and feelings, and this did it so often. The use of mirrors and glass was really present, and kind of the reflection stuff. The scene in the hotel where the Taichi's reflections looking back at him.
I love the hotel scene so much.
And I know that was kind of a 1-to-1 like storyboard, but
yeah. I mean, it's not like the anime was totally bereft of like originality. Like, no, especially in kind of the choices in how it would pan and move between, and any sort of moving camera at all is, obviously anime.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't think
Madhouse knows what they're doing with that.
I don't think the animation was anything to write home about. I never felt, it wasn't what I'm used to out of a Madhouse production, but
but that's because like Madhouse is very well known as far as animation goes for like high octane action and shit, which Chihayafuru is not at all that. So
there was a lot of great cuts in the series though, and like the one that I just can't get over, the OP where Chihaya is swiping the card and like the pan moves around her face. That's so good.
Crunchyroll did if you have a Crunchyroll account, I don't know if it's available in UK, but I know in the States it's they have like a making of that.
Oh, that's on their YouTube as well.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. Yeah, so I watch it. You should check it out. It's pretty cool. Daniel and I watched it like at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
it was a late night impromptu group watch decision. Like, hey, let's watch the making of Chihayafuru.
We were on some quarantine flow.
Let me tell you, man. This quarantine has been tough on me. I haven't even watched that much anime in quarantine. It makes it hard. I've played a Fire Emblem route. I played Azar Moon. That was good. I'm watching Gatchaman, but let me tell you, it's been...
Which Gatchaman? Original Gatchaman or Gatchaman Crowds?
Gatchaman. Is that the first season?
Gotta get to
Are they different?
No, so there's an old school Gatchaman.
Oh, no, yeah, Gatchaman
back
Crowds.
In the day.
Yeah.
But then there's Gatchaman Crowds and Gatchaman Crowds Insight.
I'm watching Gatchaman Crowd, which I've been upset because I'm now this is becoming a trend because this happened this season as well. That like, so Crunchyroll has season 2, but High Dive has season 1, so it's hard to find stuff now.
Yeah, that's what happens when it's like, oh, we're gonna do deals to get XYZ, and then 2 years later or something. Like other companies are like, well, no, but we actually want those things back, but these deals don't expire until this time or what have you. Like 80% of all of that shit right now is all because of Aniplex. Because like Aniplex for a very long time did not give two shits about how their anime was sold and marketed in the United States and like North America in general. And it wasn't until like 5 or so years ago they were like, oh wait, no, we should actually develop our own North American brand. And then they started clawing back licenses from everywhere. But because those licenses have set expiry times that may be long, may be short, things don't always stay uniform.
Is it Chihayafuru on Aniplex?
Sentai? Is that under Aniplex? Or no?
Chihayafuru, I don't think.
I for some reason thought it had an Aniplex set, which is why I haven't bought it, because those things cost me.
It was a Sentai release, but that doesn't mean that it's not an Aniplex show. Give me a second.
You have Google.
Chihayafuru.
Do you own? Does anybody own any Aniplex sets? Because they're quite nice.
Expensive.
And expensive. I was gonna say.
No, that's usually why I don't own them. I own some of the ones. So I own a couple of Fate shows.
Did that cost you your left or right leg?
Both, technically.
Edward. I bought Full Metal from Aniplex, and it did cost me my arm and my leg.
Yeah, I'm a grad student. I don't have that kind of money.
Listen, man. It's the life that
I don't think Chihayafuru is an Aniplex show.
Okay, well,
doesn't seem to be. Unless it's like through a subsidiary or some weird junk.
That's the bad information you get only here on Subtitled Anime.
Yep.
Only here, exclusively.
Yep.
Misname. Yeah.
And as far as seasonals, Crunchy's been getting their asses handed to them lately.
They've been lapped.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like this past season, like not including the one that's just starting like now, this past season had very few good shows to begin with, and I would argue Crunchyroll had the best show, which was Izoken.
Whoa, we're talking about they had the best show, meaning Chihayafuru.
Hey now.
Leftovers.
Hey now, watch what pod you're on.
Hey.
I know.
That's the first Yuasa show that I liked.
Is it?
Yeah, I have a very contentious relationship with Yuasa. I liked Ride Your Wave though. That was actually like Ride Your Wave and Izoken. So, and as far as I'm concerned, he's on a hot streak.
Have you watched Ping Pong yet?
I have not, because I've not liked anything that Yuasa makes, and I should probably do that.
So you didn't watch Ping Pong. Then what did you like what did you watch that you didn't like from Yuasa?
Didn't.
Is that like Devilman or?
I did not like Devilman. I did not like Night is Short. I saw a little bit of Tatami Galaxy. I did not like it.
Johnny, do not watch Mind Game. Okay, whatever you do.
Oh my God, do
Mind
not.
Game.
Is that a Yuasa show?
Yeah, no, that's
Well,
a
that's a
Yuasa
movie.
film. It was his directorial debut. If you don't like Night is Short and you don't like Tatami Galaxy, do not watch Mind Game.
Does it like really delve into like the weirdness of?
It doesn't delve.
Ooh.
It is the weirdness.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try it. Maybe if I get extreme Yuasa, like unleashed Yuasa.
Well,
Johnny,
that would
there's
definitely be the film to watch if that's what you wanted.
I would
But
do that.
Johnny, there's this psychedelic sex scene. They're inside a whale. At one
It can't be
point-
worse than Devilman. Spoiler alert. There's.
Well,
I mean that was. The demon sex scene.
the main
Spoiler alert.
character gets killed by being shot in the ass, and the bullet
Yeah.
goes straight through his entire body, and then he gets flushed down a spiritual toilet.
That did not happen.
These are real things.
That's a lie. I
that's the plot, Gianni. That's the plot.
Nobody animated that. I'm sorry.
and then he
believe-
meets God and says, "Fuck you, I want to live," and runs away.
They run out of the whale's mouth as it surfaces.
Somebody gave like this project to a rookie director.
Yeah, well, it's pretty sure he wrote it. Actually,
He wrote it.
I don't think it was based off of anything.
What is he? What?
I need to double check this
Oh my god.
because it came out in like early 2000s. This is an older film.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
like,
you liked Ride Your Wave, you should definitely check out Lou Over the Wall. That's actually my favorite film of his.
I'm watching that
Just
tomorrow.
Really endearing.
No, Lou Over the Wall is a really good
Yes.
film.
I'm watching it tomorrow. But I was told that Ride Your Wave is like very not Yuasa-y, which is probably why I enjoyed it.
It's actually the only thing that he's done that I haven't watched. Now that I think about it,
I really enjoyed it. It was, and I saw it, I think, a couple days after I saw the Violet Evergarden movie, so it really paled in comparison. But has anybody seen that yet?
no.
I'm afraid.
I was waiting for it to come out on Netflix, and now that I think it has,
Yeah, it did yesterday.
then yeah.
I'm curious to get both of your thoughts on because it was.
I mean,
If-
you saw my tweet like yesterday. There's no amount of preparation you can like really do before going into it. I know I'm going to be a sobbing mess, so
I was. I mean, as soon as
I don't know.
the logo came, it was tears, and then it was like I'd say, "Oh wow, that's storyboard. Oh wow, this," and then you just.
Oh wow, that storyboard.
Oh wow, that's that. It's like wow, it's. I mean, for me, it was. I really love that studio. Whenever I look at anything that, especially Violet Evergarden, that every frame is made with love. Like you could tell, like everything is moving, everything is beautiful, and everything is made with the hands of people, and some of which passed away. And you're just like, wow, like this is such an incredibly beautiful shot. And Violet Evergarden, which is a story about expressing love, you know. It really, really hits hard at times during the movie. I mean, just even divorced from the plot, which is good, and the writing and the emotion of just the general story, you're kind of hit with it twice of like, wow, like this is so beautiful. This is just completely unfair that this happened to these people. Yeah. It's very good. So if anybody hasn't seen it yet, it's on Netflix. You check it out.
Go do it.
This is
And
incredible.
if you haven't watched the original Violet Evergarden, holy shit, do that.
Haruka Fujida's debut was as good a debut as anyone's. Apparently, Yuasa's was weird, but I want to watch his now. Okay, so listen, we meandered. Listen,
Oh yeah, we meandered.
Yeah, we meandered.
That's fine.
It happens.
You know,
It's
happens.
a podcast.
It's a podcast. You know, I was last season. This aired concurrent with, and this season it aired concurrent with Haikyuu. I mean, to me, this is. Can I give it anime of the year already? Can I like give it
You
far
can.
anime of the year? Like, can we count leftovers?
You can give out anime of the years only to look extremely stupid when the
No,
real anime of the year
I'm
comes
saying
out
like
in
so
the fall.
far, so far. Well, what's
Okay.
anime of the year in the fall?
Oh no, I don't know yet. That's the
Oh,
thing.
okay. I mean, no, anime of the year is in spring 2020. It's going to be Origaru season 3. I mean, that's how my life works. But preemptively, like, I don't know if this is hyperbole, but this is about as good as anything I've ever watched. I mean, this season, like season 3, has been just incredible.
Oh, we're back to talking about Chihayafuru.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
Okay.
We are.
We've done the U-turn from Yuasa. We've done we've passed KyoAni and Violet Evergarden, and then we're back. We've back on the main road.
Okay.
We're back. I think Aniplex started this whole D-Tex Aniplex at your expensive Blu-rays.
We were shaking our fists at the establishment. That's fine.
You know, we gotta eat the rich and get our affordable, box sets of Monogatari.
Cartoons.
Yeah, our Chinese cartoons.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we get a season 4. I don't really, with Madhouse's track record, I don't really know, and I know that their director's kind of busy. He's doing another season of Sakura, right?
I'm not sure. I
It
think
wouldn't
that's
surprise me.
kind of the collective will of people wanting him to. But Asaka has like said himself, like he's super down for season 4. He loves doing the
like
show.
the staff have stated that they do want to do season 4, but at the same time they've also admitted it hasn't been talked about yet.
That's
which
scary.
is both good and bad. It is bad because it means that it's not in the works, and normally anime is like in the works a good 2 or 3 years before we actually see it.
I also feel like there's a trend lately of shows like at the end of their season, the next season gets announced.
Yeah. Because
I feel-
usually that's a matter of they saw that things worked out well, and then based on the staff members and what their schedules are, they're able to book them down to be like, yeah, we're gonna start working on season 2 or what have you. But that doesn't always happen.
That's a new trend though, right? That's probably within the last 3 years that's been.
No,
happening.
that's always kind
it?
of been a thing. It's happened in weird places. It's more so that like a lot of the staff members or that like end up running these things, so like directors and script writers and all those, they have like shows booked seasons in advance. So if one of them happens to explode in popularity, they're kind of screwed anyway, and everybody's willing to wait. And then it's just a matter of, well, you're going to be waiting a while.
Something that we haven't really discussed. We've gone almost 40 minutes and we have not mentioned the master, the Meijing. And Harada was a character that I did not really have much of an opinion on going in. I was like, he's fine.
He's fine. I was just, I can say I was disappointed in the recasting, but it's not like it was anybody's fault because the original voice actor passed away since season 2.
See, you said that and I didn't even know that, and I didn't even notice.
You didn't
You were
notice?
aware?
Okay, well,
And
I noticed that real quick.
And I
but-
saw Chihayafuru recently for the first time. I saw it probably a couple months before season 3 got announced. So
Yeah.
I'm not too far removed from that.
Well, it wasn't just Harada Sensei's VA who got replaced. It was also Miyauchi Sensei's. Both of those.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't notice that either. Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? And she has a really distinct voice.
It's one of those things that like I'm good with picking out voices. With Japanese voices, I can't always tell who. I'm not good at identifying. I can only notice that there is a problem, and then I look it up.
I know, and
English
it's
voice
Hiroshi
acting, I'm a
Kamiya.
lot better.
I know Saori and I know Tomoyo Kurosawa, and that might be about it. But him as a character, I never really had much of an opinion on. He was kind of just there. I didn't hate him. I didn't like him. And when the story kind of focused on him a little bit, I had some trepidation. I go, okay, because every week, every episode, I was like, this show is outdoing itself every single week. And when we got to the Harada stuff, Daniel, I saw you tweet. You're like, oh, my favorite content's coming up.
It is.
Favorite content. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And it was just, absolutely, his Masters match was absolutely incredible. His match with Arata.
Yeah, because it was one of those things that, like, I had already written my script for the video at that point as I was watching that, going through in season 3, and I was just like, well, this is the brilliance of Chihayafuru right here, because you don't fucking know what the hell they're going to do. Anybody could win, and I could give you 5 good reasons why either of them should. And it's not as simple as a cut and dry of, oh no, we're cheering for Harada Sensei, which means that he will probably win, maybe. But there's also a thing of, well, no, he might also lose, because that's a thing.
Who did you think was going to win? I was pretty sure that Arata was going to beat him. I convinced myself.
I kind of knew that Harada Sensei was going to go all in, because they kind of gave hints that he was going to be doing a lot better job than he had previously. But then when it came to the actual Masters match, I was just like, I feel like Harada Sensei has to lose this, because they haven't really given an avenue for Suo to come back into the narrative if he's not the master. So that was kind of my only tell, but at the same time, I'm like, well, they could just scrap him and have Harada be the one that being like, yeah, no, he's the one that like brought the 3 of them fully together with Karata. So he's going to be the one that they have to face at the end between Taichi and Arata. Like I could have seen that go as well.
I think what was the tell for me when I was reading through the first time, they supplant Suo's backstory right as he's down, and I'm like, oh
classic sports anime.
Yeah.
It
happens.
That I didn't like when he made the Masters. I was like, well, I thought Arata was gonna beat Harada, and then I was wrong. And then when we started the Masters, I was like, there's no way Harada can win for everything that Arkada just said.
Well, I was thinking that, and then like he won match number 1, and I was just like, did he win match number 1 because he's actually that good? Because up until that point, they were kind of showing to us this unbeatable god of the game. So then for Harada to just come out of there and be like, yeah, no, bitch, and wins the first match. Like,
also in that moment, because, as they're setting up the backstory later, his caretaker didn't have access to the TV, and like his whole thing about playing karate is making something of himself so that he can please, the person who took care of him. Her name is failing on me right now, but so he wasn't motivated, and he doesn't have the love for the game like Chihaya does. And we see this throughout
Harada, even Harada, who loves the game.
Yeah, so I mean, you see this throughout the whole thing. The players with passion, Chihaya, Arata, Harada, they reignite the passion in others. You see it with Chihaya and Haruka's match, which is actually one of my favorite matches in all of season 3. I love Haruka and Harada's content so much.
It was really good.
Just like, their ability to bring in these kind of veteran players. It's like, all right, we have our high school, rom-com sports anime, and then here are mentor characters. Just kidding. We're actually going to let the mentor characters be the protagonists for a while. And that's wonderful. I love pleasant surprises like that.
Mm.
When we get to the scene at the end when he commits his first and most fatal error, that should kill me. And then I forgot the card that was red, but it was like a card that was like, of course you would make that card be red. It kills me. I'm dead. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Like during a time, especially now, like during our quarantine and social isolation and social distancing and everything, that we got the last couple episodes of Chihayafuru, that was time I really look forward to, man. Every week for 24 weeks, the best 20 minutes of my week was it's funny, and I look forward to it every single day. Every Tuesday I'd be at work, and I'd be really excited to get home and to watch whatever angsty thing Taichi was going to do. And it kind of reminded me of the power of this medium. I hadn't felt this way since Sakura Quest, which is a weird show for me to feel this way about. That it was like, I need these 22 and a half minutes of detox every week, and this is going to be my detox. And it's something that I look forward to because of I don't know. It's something about it connected with me in that way.
Soul sustaining. You know, it's cathartic. It's a very
Isn't it
cathartic
just 'cause
story.
you could call it
It's usually
Taichi
fulfilling.
Tuesdays?
It's
Taichi
Taichi Tuesdays, man. I actually can't even take credit for that. I heard that the Japanese dubbed it that. Yeah, because I think every season always aired on Tuesday, and I'm glad that they kept the tradition. So we have Taichi Tuesdays. I mean, he's probably one of my all-time favorite characters. I mean, I'm thinking top 15 probably. Which last season, at the end of the year, I always do kind of like a little award. Like I put out little graphics with awards, and my best three male characters were Reagan, Askeladd, and Taichi. And for me to put Taichi with Reagan and Askeladd, which are just like that's as good as the medium gets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's like I can't like what Lelouch Okabe, like that's like the list is some Mount Rushmore to come full circle. I mean, what a show, what an adaptation, what a season. And guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed coming on.
This is a lot of fun. Guys want you to plug your stuff. So Daniel, give the people again where they can find you.
All right. You can find me at Daniel Sans Lions. You can also find my blog, Trickster's Treatise. The link is on my Twitter page. It's great to be on again.
We will be on again. Arkada, what do you want to plug? Any videos coming up? I'm sure everybody knows where to find your channel, but let them know anyway.
Yeah, you can go and watch my stuff on YouTube at Glass Reflection, or follow me on Twitter for the same thing, at Glass Reflection. Not too much on what's going to be coming out, because being in quarantine, my recording schedule has been royally screwed to hell. So things will come out when they come out, I guess. We're going to work on that.
We will get there. You can find my work at Subtitled Anime on Twitter, or on my YouTube channel at Subtitled Anime. Be on the lookout next week. Hopefully next week. Hold me to it on Twitter that I will finish this next week. I have a video on Lelouch and Edelgard and how their ideals intersect. So
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm very excited. Oh my god. So hold me to it next week. If Twitter harass me if I don't, because I've been trying to really work on that all week. And next week, I'm hoping to get a podcast out on Oregairu for season 3. Very excited for that. I have 2 really fun guests planned for that, so I'm sure that you guys will enjoy that and everything. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the program today, and I hope to talk to you guys soon.